And if it makes sense through that basic lens, the next question is, then why don't more people train that way? Why aren't more people controlling the eccentrics, using full range of motion, not relying on momentum and leverage, focusing on good form and technique, and not just throwing heavy weights around? Well, with a lot of thought, I've boiled this down to three categories. First, people who don't actually want their goals as bad as they say they do. They like the idea of the result, the physique and the strength and development, but they don't want the process required to achieve it. They simply just don't want to do the work. They don't want to get comfortable being uncomfortable, and they don't want to patiently grind through the mundane consistency that it takes to achieve your goals. In other words, they want the reward, but not the lifestyle that produces it. Second, people who are naive to proper training concepts. These lifters who show up, do the exercises, and maybe even train hard, but they don't actually know or understand basic training principles. So they come and they work out, but they don't understand they could be getting so much more out of their time. They're consistent, just not intentional. Third, and this is by far the biggest category, and this is people who are too stubborn and ego driven to change. These are the lifters who claim they want a goal, but when it's not doing something that they know or have done in the past, they instantly resist it and brush it off because their egos do not allow them to have an open mind and absorb information that might be beneficial to them, especially when that information means slowing down the reps, using a full range of motion, not using momentum and leverage, not depending so much on synergistic muscles and stabilizers, and exposing their poor mechanics and weaknesses. Because this means they have to do two things. One, confront the fact they've been doing it wrong. And two, and this is the hardest one, drop the weight. Because once they use an appropriate load, it becomes blatantly obvious. They were never truly training the muscle. They were always training the movement. And the movements were being carried by synergy, leverage, and position, not intention. And that self-realization is the beginning of maturity. Because a huge part of maturing as a lifter is learning to step outside of your ego and ask yourself honestly, what is the best way to accomplish the goal that I say that I have? Because the more intentional your training becomes, the less room there is for your ego to hide. And the people who resist that the hardest are always the ones who stay making subpar progress year after year.